Now, Ukraine at this moment is staring at some very modest counteroffensive advances, with just a few villages in the south and the east having been recaptured after months of fighting against the entrenched Russian forces. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has in fact vowed victory and has said during a meeting with the defense officials on Tuesday that society had rallied behind the war effort. Now, Putin at this moment is running in an election that is expected to see him continue in the Kremlin until 2030.
Ну что же, и мы от своих целей специальной военной операции отказываться не собираемся. Оценивая текущую ситуацию на земле, на линии боевого соприкосновения, можно с уверенностью сказать, что наши войска владеют инициативой. По сути, мы делаем...
Now, since the offensive began in 2022, Kremlin has in fact outlawed any opposition to its assault on Ukraine, which is presented as an existential fight against the West. At the defense ministry meeting, Putin has again accused the West of using Ukraine as a proxy to wage a war against Russia and has questioned the legitimacy of the Ukrainian nation. He's also said that Russian military equipment has proven its superiority over the Western weapons, which are, one, way too expensive and secondly, not as effective as is being claimed.
А где нужно, мы улучшаем свои позиции. Противник несет тяжелые потери и в значительной степени растратил резервы, пытаясь показать своим реальным хозяевам хоть какой-то результат своего распиаренного так называемого контрнаступления. Кстати говоря, и миф о неуязвимости западной военной техники также рухнул.
The front line has hardly moved since the Russian retreat from Kherson in 2022, but Moscow's troops are on the offensive again. Volodymyr Zelensky has said that there is no end in sight to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, as fatigue is beginning to build amongst Kiev's allies nearly 2 years into the war. Now, Zelensky has said that he had in fact turned down a request from the military for now to mobilize as many as about 500,000 Ukrainians for the army. The unpopular proposal could of course hit his worsening poll ratings amongst the Ukrainians.
І їх погляд був на ставці, що вони запропонували мобілізувати додаткових 450-500 тисяч людей. Це дуже серйозна цифра. Я сказав, що мені потрібно більше аргументів для того, щоб підтримувати цей напрямок, тому що це питання, перш за все, людей. Друге, це питання справедливості.
Last week, Zelensky embarked on a tour of Western nations to make the case for more military and political support, but he also failed to convince the U.S. Congress to immediately approve about $60 billion American in support. While in Brussels, the Hungarian leader, Viktor Orban, has blocked an aid package of nearly about $55 billion. The Ukrainian president said, and I quote, "I am pretty confident that the United States will not betray us." Now, Zelensky was in fact facing some growing discontent before Russia invaded, before becoming the global face of Ukraine's resistance. He's again feeling political pressure at home. Recent polling shows the number of Ukrainians who trust Zelensky has dropped to 62% in comparison with 84% just a year ago. Back then, Kiev's forces were celebrating gains in the east and in the south.
Часто дійсно унікальні спеціальні операції. Деякі з цих операцій змінили.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.